to your notes, jot these things down. Today we've discussed at whatever time we have left, classifying quadrilaterals. The first thing we have to establish, ladies and gentlemen, is, first of all, quadrilaterals are what, Zach? Quad, four-sided shapes. And we have the ones that are classified. We're going to look at this one first. This one here is a big hitter. This guy right here. What is a parallelogram? Anybody? Anybody at all? By the way, you need to, children. If you're not in first and second grade, you need to know the exact definition of what these things are. Okay, you don't just say a rectangle has four sides. Well, it does, but that is not its exact thing. And when somebody asks you to prove whatever, especially when you get to geometry, you have to know this stuff just the way it is. What makes something a parallelogram? What makes something a parallelogram? Zach.
I might be wrong, but it's either, I'm guessing, it's either four obtuse or obtuse angles.
Well, since it has two acute and two obtuse, that is incorrect.
Oh, two obtuse and two.
But that's not necessarily true either. Well, it actually may be. If you said it a little bit more, but that's not how the book is going to define it. Chase?
Those two parallel sides.
Two sets of parallel sides. Two sets of parallel sides. All right? It has this set that's parallel here, this set's the parallel here. Now, do me a favor. Look at the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6 shapes and put a P inside the ones that could also be called parallelograms. In other words, which of those other 6 shapes also have two sets of parallel sides? There are a few of them, and there are a few that are not. Your job is to try to figure out which ones are and which ones aren't. Because all of these technically are also parallelograms, although generally if I told you to draw a parallelogram, this would be the guy, the garden variety, the one that you'd shoot down there. So what else, Brian, was another one that's a parallelogram?
A square.
A square was also a parallelogram. Another one that's a parallelogram, Grace?
Rectangle.
A rectangle is a parallelogram. Lauren, a rhombus is a parallelogram. Now, unless you're going to tell me that a parallelogram is a parallelogram, it's probably a good idea not to volunteer any more answers. This is the only other parallelogram. This does not. This has one set of parallel sides. This has no sets of parallel sides. This also has one set of parallel sides. Got it? Good. Got it. Those are the only 4 parallelograms on this piece of paper. Now, let's go to the exact definition of, well, let's do the ones that aren't parallelograms just to get them out of the way. A trapezoid simply means, by the way, I think I'm going to call them something else. I believe this is called a trapezium there, and I'm not sure why, but that's neither here but there. The exact definition of a trapezoid is, Chase? Yeah, exactly one set of parallel sides. That is Mr. Trapezoid. And this one is just a special kind of trapezoid. If it's an isosceles trapezoid, just like an isosceles triangle, that means the two sides that aren't parallel are equal in length. Good. Now that we've got that out of the way, which one should we do next? Let's do rectangle. What do you suppose is the exact definition of a rectangle? First of all, it's a parallelogram, so we can say that. A parallelogram with, anybody know? Nobody knows. Is it just me? I'm not 100% sure that matter of fact, I don't think it is. My rhombus is not a rhombus. I should just quit right now. It's just been one of those days. I started when you guys walked in the door. So, is a who? Exactly, and that's all it is. It's a parallelogram with 4 right angles. Now, do me a favor and mark down all the other shapes there that are parallelograms or are rectangles, and please don't put this one here because this one is not right. This one is supposed to be, more like a diamond shape. I don't know what I was thinking. It's supposed to be more like this. Can you make yours? Can you change that? These angles look too much like square angles, and they should not be. A rhombus is not that. It is not that. I mean, technically it is, but it wouldn't be the kind of rhombus that I'd expect you to draw. Can I say that? So what else do we have that? What else is always a rectangle? Always a rectangle would be Zach. Yep, Mr. Square. He is also a rectangle. This one should not be. That good? Now let's go to a square. What's the exact definition of a square? By the way, it's a parallelogram, so we start with that. With Probably we only got 5 minutes left. Connor? Okay, all equal sides. And it has to have one other thing. Or 4 right angles. Any other ones there that fit that bill? No. A square is itself a square. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. You get that? And a rhombus, what's its definition? Anybody? The only thing something has to be a rhombus. Huh? Nope. I'm not sure you can draw. I'm not sure. I think if you draw 2 right angles, you have to have 4 right angles. I don't think you can draw just 2 right angles with a quadrilateral. My thoughts. I could be wrong. Anybody? Rhombus? 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 Here, let me ask the question slowly. If a rectangle has 4 right angles, and a square has 4 right angles and all equal sides, then a rhombus is okay. Right. It's a parallelogram with 4 equal sides. It just has to have 4 equal sides. Actually, yeah. So what else can be a rhombus? There's one other one that is always a rhombus. One other shape that always has equal sides. What is it, Caleb?
A square.
Yeah. This is a rectangle. This can also be a rhombus, or always has to be a rhombus. And like I said, I should have drawn this more like a diamond shape. It looks, the corners should not be squared. Although all squares are rhombuses, that is not what I should have. And a kite, the definition of a kite, it's kind of its own little oddball. Let me make sure I get it right. A kite, on its own, does anybody see a kite here? What's the definition? You give a definition of a kite in here. I'm not going to tell you the definition of a kite unless I see it there. What do you think, Caleb?
No parallel sides.
I think you might be right. I'm going to look at it. Kites, 197, 198. Does it say what a kite is?
At the bottom of 190.
Bottom of what?
190. Oh yeah.
A kite has two pairs of adjacent sides of equal length. There you go. See, that's why we didn't. We have to write that down. Two pairs of adjacent sides with equal length. Two pairs of adjacent sides of this. Which simply means this. This side and this side are the equal, and this side and that side are equal. That, ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had more time.